Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome to our Alpha Live, the Know Before You Go. We're so excited to be here with you all today to talk about convention. My name is Adriana Ortiz. I also go by Adri Maria or Adri for short. I am the manager of student chapter operations and initiatives here at Alpha. So I'm super excited to bring on some colleagues to talk about convention, to talk about what to wear, what to do, what to expect, how to prepare, all that great stuff. Before we get started with everybody, if you're here joining us live in the comments, let us know where you're joining us from. What states are you in? I know for all of us here on the call, we're in different time zones. I rep the Bronx. That's where I'm from, but I currently live in Los Angeles. So I am on the West Coast. It's barely like middle of my day. So thank you all for joining us. I want to introduce you to Beth Raymond and Susan Badia, who are here with us today. So Beth, floor is yours.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. We're so happy to have you here. I am Beth Raymond, Director of Women of Alpha in Most Powerful Latina Programs at Alpha, and used to be Director of Programs here, and then also have a long career history of career management and prepping students to go to these types of diversity conferences. And as a former corporate recruiter as well, have a lot of background and comments and thoughts about what the recruiters are thinking. So can't wait to have a conversation with you.
Love it, love it. Thank you. Susan, tell us, who are you? What do you do?
Hello, everyone. My name is Susan Badia. I'm a recent graduate from Rutgers University. Woohoo! I was the chapter president for the Rutgers Alpha New Brunswick organization. Now I am transitioning from New Jersey to New York, so relocated and all that. And I'm a sales and trading analyst at Morgan Stanley. I also attended the Nashville 2019 conference. That was a load of fun, and also did the virtual conventions in the previous years. So I'm super excited to give you guys the Student 101 on what to do, what to wear, and what to expect from this year's awesome convention.
Absolutely love it. I'm so excited to be sharing the floor with you too. Just to give you a little tidbits of what to expect during this Alpha Live, we're going to talk about what is convention, right? How are we getting there? What are we doing when we're there? What outfits do I need to bring? There's a lot on that agenda. How do I show up? How can I be myself? How do I talk to recruiters? How do I prepare to talk to folks? How do I network with other professionals and other students? So, all of that. We're going to cover a lot, but we also want to make sure that we cover all of your questions. So if you do have questions, they're lingering in your head. No question is silly. Whatever question you have, I promise you somebody else on this live also has it. So please put it in the comments so that we know what information you want to know in order to help have a successful time at convention, have a fun time at convention, and leave convention saying, you know what? I went down there, I joined Alpha, I had 4 days of an amazing experience. I came out with a new network, a new job, and new skills. So go ahead, write the questions that you have. While you do that, we're going to get started with Beth, who's going to tell us what is convention and what should students expect generally from it.
Oh, sure. All right. If you've never been to a big convention career fair, it's a convention is multiple things happening at once. So there is the big hall that has a huge career fair, which we're going to really dive into in a little bit. But there are also all sorts of workshops going on. So over the 4 days, there will be about 70 workshops happening, some for students and some for professionals. It'll be clear which are which, but they are for you to gain skills, gain information, gain skills. They'll range from everything from interview skills and interview prep all the way to advanced data analytics in Excel. So you can choose how to best chart out your day and chart out each day. And again, we can talk a little bit more about how to plan out your convention, but you should have a plan. And you should know before you go which workshops you're going to go to, how much time you're going to spend at the career fair, who you're going to talk to in the career fair, and have a plan for each employer that you approach. There are also a lot of networking opportunities at conventions. So that's really the third big bucket. And this is where you're really, and Susan can talk more about this, but where you're going to really begin to build your professional network. Even as a sophomore in college, this is where it starts. You're going to meet people who you're going to stay in touch with. You may end up going to work at the same company. You may work at different companies, but 5 years later, 10 years later, you might reach out to each other because there's an opening in your corporation. So this is truly the beginning of your professional network. You're also going to be meeting alpha members, alpha professionals from all over the country who are there because they want to support you. They're there because they want to help you build your career and build your future. And so those are really the three big buckets of what a convention is. There are parties too, but we'll talk about that.
Thank you. Thank you. That was great. Definitely a general overview, and you touched upon some of the workshops, some of the different events. Can you tell us, for all of these different things that are happening, what should students be wearing? And let's start with, how do I dress up to go to the workshops and the panels that are during the day?
Well, we're going to be in Orlando in August, so it's going to be hot. That said, really, you want to be business professional. So that means for males, I would recommend a suit with a tie. Maybe during the day, it's okay to take that tie off, kind of read your audience. Although there will be professionals there wearing khakis and golf shirts, they have jobs. You don't. So what you need to do is be the job seeker. And I would recommend wearing a suit with a tie most of the time. And then for women, I would recommend a suit as well, although, or at least some sort of a blazer. So if you take like a shirt like mine, maybe just have a blazer to throw on top of it, or a dress with on top of it, but not cocktail. So for women, we don't want sparkles. We don't want bling. There are events in the evening that will have some of that, but for the most part, you just want to, you don't want to stand out because of your clothes, if you know what I'm saying. That this, and if you go online and you just Google business professional, there will be some really good examples of what that looks like for both male and female.
Absolutely. Thank you. What about the gala, right? Or the evening events? Do I need a different outfit, or can I wear my suit and tie or my blazer that I just threw over my blouse?
It is always okay to show up in your suit if that's what you have. That said, particularly for males, right? Your suit is perfect. For the gala and for those events, you don't need a tux or anything like that. For females, it's okay to go a little more cocktail, but again, you're trying to get a job, right? So you're not wearing a strapless dress. You're not showing too much skin. You want to be conservative. You want to err on the side of conservative. And then, once you've got a job and you've been employed and you're established and well-established career, then you can go a little more risque.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. We'll go over a few other ones as well. I just wanted to add in, Beth said, you don't want to be remembered for your clothes. And I would say, somebody's going to say something about your outfit. Make sure it's like, wait, where'd you get that? I want that. Like, where did you go and get that? Right. Like, in that way, it's always a great way to talk about where you buy your business clothes, whether it's with with another student or with those professionals, or things of that nature. But you definitely don't want to be remembered as a student that came in and somebody says, oh, somebody didn't tell them how to dress for this event, right? This is, we are letting you know what's okay, what's not okay, hot or not. Sometimes, we got to sweat it out. We do have AC, as somebody said, we do have AC. Our events are mostly indoors. So you might actually be cold and you'll be really, really happy to have that blazer. So we went over workshops, we went over the evening. What about the events that are happening during lunchtime? Like if I'm going to the scholarship luncheon or I'm going to the Women of Alpha luncheon, what do I wear then?
Same thing. You got to keep it professional, and you make such a great point, Adria, about being cold. Even though it's hot outside, it's going to be probably pretty chilly in that hotel. And a great rule of thumb is really not showing your shoulders. Like, just great rule of thumb, either a blouse or a blazer. If you don't have a blazer, that's okay, as long as it's a dress or something. But I would really just, great rule of thumb is to not be sleeveless. It's just the most conservative professional attire, that in basic professional attire that you can. But the attire for the whole day is going to be that business professional, except for some of those evening events.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love the fact that you talked about no shoulders, and that goes for everybody. That's not just folks who identify as women or folks who identify as men. Like, that is literally everybody. Like, your shoulders should not be showing. Please do not show up to the career fair or to a workshop in a tank top of any kind. That is for everybody across the board, regardless of how you identify.
I will say this, that the venue has 2 beautiful pools, and you should feel free to take advantage of that as well. But also know that people are walking around, right? Everyone's staying at the same hotel. So feel free to swim and be on vacation and take advantage, but also choose bathing suits that you would want your employer to see you in.
Absolutely. Thank you. And I think the career fair falls under the same thing as professional, unless there's something else that you want to add to what people could wear during the career fairs.
I would say professional. Yeah.
Love it. Love it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Susan, I got some questions for you. You actually had the chance of attending an in-person convention, and then you also attended the virtual conventions. Can you tell us what's it like attending an in-person convention?
It is, in one word, amazing. I mean, it's an experience everyone comes back to, saying that they will remember forever. It is something that we look forward to all year. Hence, this is our primary event for ALPFA. And you just meet so many people from every single walk of life, and they look like you, they talk like you, they want the same things as you. So you get this feeling as a student, that you can feel comfortable around the professionals, around the students, and you find that you're making friends. For example, I'm from New Jersey. I made friends from Florida. I made friends from USC. I made friends from Texas. And in one room, in one convention room, it's just every single walk of life. So I would say it's just truly amazing. It's kind of, it doesn't feel real at times because there's a lot going on. But from a student's perspective, it's just a moment to soak it all in, to take in all that information, make as many connections as you can, and hopefully get a job.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. Just to add on to that, because you made a great point about being in a room with people who look like you, who have shared experiences or shared culture. But at the same time, there's an aspect of what does it mean to be professional, right? And what does it mean to show up as a professional? Can you talk about your experience? If you felt like you had to code switch during this conference, or if you felt like you had to be somebody that you weren't, or was this the first time that you attended this kind of conference where you actually felt, you know what, this is who I am through and through. This is how I grew up. This is how I show up. What was that experience like for you?
Yeah, so I am a proud advocate of being your authentic self. So I try to bring my authentic self anywhere I go. And really, you kind of notice when you need to code switch and not in certain situations. And if people feel comfortable doing that, that is what you feel comfortable doing. So that would be perfectly okay. However, in this convention, in terms of my experience, I didn't feel the need to code switch, which was something interesting that I did notice. I felt like I can be myself. I can talk the way that I want to talk. I can really share the experiences that go beyond a resume maybe, and talk about home, so I'm from the Dominican Republic, and I know that came up in certain recruiter conversations that traditionally wouldn't come up in other conventions or conferences, etc. So it is an opportunity, to be yourself in the most respectable manner, of course, but also be as prepared as you can be, because this isn't like a 4-day vacation. It's a 4-day work trip. That's how I would call it. So, pack those 4 suits, do the check-in luggage if you are permitted to do so. Make sure that they match and come in having those questions, knowing the targets that you want to hit in terms of companies, knowing the workshops you want to go to, and ultimately going into these LinkedIns, finding out these facts about the companies that you want to hit and the people that are going to be there. Because trust me, they will remember that. If you come prepared on that career fair day and you already know that recruiter, you know what the earnings are for that company, and you know the role that you want to apply for, best believe they will make sure that they have you on their roster. So that in terms of preparation and what you should feel like, that's what I would recommend.
Absolutely. And can you elaborate a little bit more on that, Susan? Can you walk me through when you went to convention in person? I know you and I briefly discussed some of the things that you did in order to prepare. Can you tell the rest of us how you actually prepared? Like, how far in advance? What were some of the things that you actually did, and how did that help you once you were there?
So, as a student, we have busy lives. I'm not saying I started preparing in January, but I did start preparing early enough, maybe by like quarter 2 results for certain like earnings in terms of earnings season, probably like around after quarter 2 results. So you'll be the most updated if you want to hit those companies that do report. But in terms of preparation, I had a goal in mind. Like, what did I want to get from this? So did I want to go into finance? Do I want to go into accounting? What in accounting do I want to go to? What in finance do I want to go into? Making sure that I had the base, I had that goal in mind that I needed to hit, right? And this is my sole focus. So then I started asking myself, how do I make sure I get to this goal? Is it by going to workshops? Because the workshops itself act as networking opportunities. So let's say you go to X amount of workshops and you get noticed by a recruiter there, and you also get noticed by a recruiter at the career fair. You're kind of supplementing that meeting with or connection with the recruiter from the workshops. So that's something you also have to plan out. For example, if you like Goldman Sachs and you know Goldman Sachs is holding some workshops that you are also interested in, go to the Goldman Sachs workshops, introduce yourself there, then go to the career fair and do the same thing. But essentially, I got the agenda down and made sure I had a list of companies that I was for sure going to apply to. And I would go to every single company's website, learn a little bit more about them, about their internship programs, and about who is going to the convention, and if I could look them up on LinkedIn. And that typically comes about sometimes if you put in the company name, then alpha, and probably somewhere like either analyst or HR recruiting or diversity and inclusion, something around those areas, or even just alpha itself will give you a roster of like who's going to attend. So yeah, that's how I did my research. And I went to the convention and I had all of these questions already prepared. So make sure you have that prepared, as well as your elevator pitch, as well as your in-paper resumes, which I think we'll go over. I know this is a lot of information, but trust me, just be prepared in terms of background research. Then come in knowing those questions because of the goal that you have established. Third, be ready with all the resources that you need. So your online resume, your paper resume. And fourth, make sure you ask those questions and go to the workshops you need to go to and the career fair in order to kind of round out that experience. And the way that would look like for a student, for example, is, hey, I am X, Y, and Z. I noticed that you are a recruiter for this firm. I am really interested in X, Y, and Z role at your firm, and this is my background. This is where I go to school. I would love to get a little bit more information about your firm. Easy as that. And as you get into the conversation, goes every way that you want it to, but be prepared in that sense.
So great. If I may, I just want to add on and emphasize what Susan said. I know that, again, just to recap, my suggestion would be for those companies that you're really interested in who are going to be in attendance, make a one pager for each one with the exact things that Susan said. So what's their stock price that day, right? It's so silly, but oftentimes recruiters, they're seeing 300 students in a day, and they're using that question to weed out, like, you don't care about my company, or, oh, they did bother to check the website this morning. It's just like a quick gatekeeping thing. So that morning, wake up, and for your companies, like, what's the stock price that day around? And then also, what does the front page of their website say that day? Like, what's current events happening in that company? Don't approach a booth and then say, well, tell me, what is it that you like about Goldman Sachs? And you're like, well, you want to be able to, even just one sentence of what's going on in their company. Read a couple of headlines. So make a one pager, stock price, headlines, recent headlines, and then and Susan said this too. Go ahead, and those companies you're really interested in, submit your resume online, so that when an employer, also another roadblock question, says to you, "Great, Susan, so nice to meet you. We're not really taking resumes here at the booth. Go ahead and apply online." You can say, "Oh, I've already done that. I've already submitted my resume online. What's the best way for me to follow up for that? Who should I contact to follow up?" So you're just eliminating those roadblock questions if you can do that. And also, it shows, if you've already applied online and submitted your resume online, that you truly are interested versus just saying that you're interested. And then again, emphasizing what Susan said, make a note of when those companies will be presenting at other times throughout convention, so that you can make sure to be there. Because another roadblock question, "Oh, great, you're so interested in Goldman Sachs. Were you at our info session yesterday?" No. Well, then you're not that interested. So eliminate those barriers.
Absolutely. I love that. And somebody in the comments also said, check out their social media and press pages on the company sites. One other thing I want to add about preparation to convention, it's not just doing an inventory on the companies that you're looking at, but doing an inventory on yourself. What are you bringing to the table? Understanding what are some of the questions that are going to be asked at the career fair or at the interview booths, right? We already know they're going to ask you, tell me about yourself. So how do we handle that question so that when you get asked, tell me about yourself, you're not like, oh my God, I'm not sure. What do I tell? What do I say? Do I say what I do in school? Do I say what I do for fun? Like, and just making sure that you're looking up those general everyday interview questions and writing them out, right? And not necessarily practicing them so that you can spit it out verbatim and it's rehearsed, but definitely so you have an understanding of what you bring to the table. Because I said this yesterday, but yes, these companies are recruiting you, but you're also recruiting them. It's a two-way interview. You want to make sure that they also know what you bring to the table, what you're good at, what you like to do, and just understanding all of that. And that is part of the preparation. So yes, do your diligence on the research for the companies that you want to apply to, talk to, get to know, but also let them know that you very much understand yourself and the incredible candidate that you are, and how much you bring to that table. So definitely make sure you do that as well.
Audrey, if I could add to that a little bit, tell me about yourself. I know most of us are intimidated as students. We're intimidated by this question because of who actually are we? We're students. We are passionate about certain things. We go to school. We have internships. We get awards. We play a sport. We like art, etc. So I definitely recommend getting that down as soon as possible, because there's so much limited time that you get to talk to recruiters at these booths. And you want to make sure that you're presenting your best self, as Audrey mentioned, and also knowing what your best self looks like. What are you actually interested in? So in terms of my personal experience, when I was maybe a freshman, sophomore, and still even today sometimes, like vulnerable moment, I always, like, the question that would stump me in every interview was like, why are you perfect for this position? Because it makes you look internally, and you have to say, what are the value adds that I can contribute to this firm? Are you good with numbers? Are you good with social skills? Are you good with Excel? Are you good, etc.? So really take inventory of those questions as well. Like, why are you fit for this position? Why should Goldman Sachs hire you? why should Microsoft hire you? What are you interested in? And I think Allison in the chat said a perfect point there about checking the initiatives that the companies have. For example, I am very passionate about diversity and inclusion initiatives. So I am always going to a company's website and I'm clicking on what initiatives they currently are doing to see if maybe do I want to be there? Is that the right fit for me? Do they have a corporate culture that I see myself integrating into? And it also becomes an amazing talking point when you are talking to these people, because you are in the know of what they're doing and you are passionate about what they are doing at their firm. So if you do have that point, if you're interested in ESG, diversity and inclusion, certain investing initiatives that they're piloting, bring that to the table when you're talking to these recruiters, because most of the time, a lot of students don't. A lot of students just want the position and they go. So be in the know of the companies that you really are passionate about.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for that. Let's see. I think we have some student questions, but I think before we get into those, anything else you want to add advice wise? What should I bring? Is there anything that will make my experience more seamless, smoother when it comes to talking to people? What are some things that you did, Susan, when you went to convention? Like, what was something that you had in your back pocket?
I think, well, Beth, you definitely know how to answer more eloquently in terms of the corporate side. But on the student side, I made sure I had packs and packs of resumes, and I printed it on like pretty Staples paper and everything. It was unnecessary. I'm just but I had like this portfolio and I put all of them in there, and I made sure I had 2 per every company that I wanted to hit. So example, if I had 10 companies I wanted to go to, I made sure I printed 20 resumes. Yeah. So I had those in person printed out resumes. I also had my LinkedIn loaded and updated. This is very crucial because you're not only connecting with professionals, but you're going to also connect with students. And you want to make sure that your LinkedIn reflects your true self. Audrey, you made a point earlier on our previous calls about having like a digital business card. That is amazing. Every student should have a digital business card if you're able to do so. I think it's a cool initiative to have all of your information in one place, and really making sure that your resumes are available online, especially sometimes offline, say if you don't have internet connection. And the way you can do this, if you are an Android or an iPhone user, you download Google Drive, you upload on your laptop, on your device at home, desktop, etc. You can upload your resume in PDF version onto Google Drive and download the app on your phone, log into the same account that you used to upload it, and now it's readily available on your phone. So say if someone doesn't really want to do a resume and they want you to send something online, you could do that right there. You could also show somebody your resume from your phone, and another option for iOS users is saving it as a file. So you can send it to yourself on your email, Gmail, Outlook, and you can download it as a file. So when you go on files on your phone, it's readily available as well, and also readily available to send through email. So those are quick tips about making sure it's handy. Beth, if you want to expand on that.
I know those are so great, such great advice, because if you're standing there and someone says, well, send me your resume, you can just say, great, do it right there. So, eliminate the barriers. I think other advice I would give for any career fair in general is, know who's going to be there. We've already talked about that. We already talked about the preparation. 2 things. There's always a map of where the companies are. Mm-hmm. Know that map, study that map. When they cut the ribbon and everybody goes in for the morning, everyone stops right at those front booths. Companies don't want me to say this, but go to the back. Go to the back booths first. There will be less traffic back there. So plan your route so that you're starting at the back of the exhibit hall, coming forward versus the other way, and then you're not going to be with as many people at once. I would also say my other piece of advice is to I know it's really intimidating going up to people, strangers, and saying, hi, my name is Beth, and I'm interested. So start with a company that's not maybe one of your number one choices. That seems counterintuitive, but go first to one of your, like maybe second tier choices and start there so that you can start getting that pitch and that intro to where it's rolling off your tongue, because it takes 2 or 3 times of doing it before it's natural. So I would say to start there. And then Susan has said this, but truly be authentic. My name is Beth Raymond and I'm here from Texas and I'm so excited to talk to you because blah, 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 blah. It doesn't, it can be that natural and authentic. It doesn't have to, there isn't a script. And in fact, while you don't want to be remembered for your clothes, you do want to be remembered for being unique and for what you're saying. So to say something like, I'm from the Dominican and the work you all are doing, your company's doing that down there, draw a personal connection. Have something interesting to say other than, I want to work for Goldman Sachs because it's Goldman Sachs. I do think that those are memorable things. The other thing when you're approaching booths is if you mess up, it's okay to try again. So if you go up and you say, fumble it and say, my name is Beth Raymond and okay, gather yourself and just look at them and say, you know what? I'm going to walk away. I'm going to catch my breath and I'll be right back. A recruiter will appreciate that so much. And then if you come back and you do it again, that is not a black mark on you. In fact, it is the opposite, because in our roles as professionals, we fumble all the time. And it's about how you come back and represent yourself and how you get back up. And so to show that kind of, fortitude is actually an amazing character trait. So don't think you blew it. You always have a second chance.
Absolutely. I love that. And I think that we all should remember that, right? Like mistakes happen. They're going to happen. Nobody's perfect. And so just make sure you keep it moving, keep it pushing and being transparent, right? I think I was once at an interview and I was all tongue tied and I literally said, look, I'm so sorry. I'm actually kind of nervous because I really want to work for you all and with you all. And this is why. And then I just kind of went into it and I forgot I had nerves because I addressed it. I addressed my nerves and just was transparent. So definitely love that. One thing that Susan said to me yesterday that I want to make sure she says to you all is this. Susan, go ahead.
Yeah, I apologize. I was getting caught up in the business side of things, but it's a work trip, but it's also supposed to be fun. So as students, professionals, have fun. Don't forget that you're there to learn, you're there to be inspired, to inspire others, to make new connections, to make friends that you're going to talk to and continue your life journeys with. At whatever capacity that may be. So you're going to have these events where you're going to, have fun after hours or even during the I would say 9 to 5 where you're doing the workshops, etc. But don't forget to soak in that moment to realize where you are and take it even day by day. It's totally okay. Everyone's going to be nervous. It's our first convention back in about 2 years. Or 3, I should say. So it's a big deal and it's totally okay to feel all of these emotions. If you have anyone you can rely on or need to rely on at the convention, please do so. And hey, pull somebody aside. Like, are you as nervous as I am? Because I'm freaking out. Boom, icebreaker. So even with recruiters, like, wow, it's been 2 years. Wow, how's the first? Like, boom. So don't forget to have fun. It is an experience of a lifetime, something that most Alpha students rave about all the time. And yeah, just don't forget that you're here to learn, but also have fun and enjoy it.
I love that.
On that point about find a helper, I just want, before I forget to say this, we talked about this as well. Those of us who work for Alpha or chapter leaders, there will be clearly marked those of us who are Alpha employees, Alpha chapter leaders, Alpha board members. All of us are here to help and support students. And so if you walk up to your dream company and they say, great, meet me over here in 20 minutes for an interview, and you are freaking out, just find one of us and say, can you help me prep for this interview I have in 20 minutes for my dream company? Any one of us will drop what we are doing to get you prepped for that interview, to get you prepped for that conversation. That's our job. It's what we're all passionate about. We're here for you. So do not hesitate to find the helpers and get the help you need so that you feel confident.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. And one more thing that I wanted to add to Susan's, don't forget to have fun. It's also a part of the recruitment process. Like if you are talking to somebody and there's something in you that's saying, I don't really like this person, like their vibe is just not vibing with me. Like that, take that into account when you're looking at a company and you're looking at where you're going to be working, because this could be your potential supervisor or your potential colleague. And if there's something that's saying, I can't have any kind of fun, or I can't laugh, or I feel like I just have to be somebody that I'm not, that says a lot, right, for you. And so take that into account and listen to yourself, and definitely have fun and laugh. And if you do have that fumble moment, you could talk to, whether it's a professional member or another student or somebody, say, I just went to this booth and let me tell you what happened. And you could just kind of, brush it off, and then it is what it is, right? So love that, love that, love that. Before we go into audience questions, since we're talking about not forgetting to have fun, Beth, can you tell us like how we should act in after hour events, right? We are students. Some of us are not 21. Some of us are over 21. They are going to be alcoholic drinks on premises. And what does that look like for us? How should we show up? What does this mean? Talk to us about that.
Sure. Well, I can tell you, when I was a corporate recruiter, this was, I'm dating myself here, but in the 90s, and I still remember the names of the students who were like so wasted at it sticks with you. Okay. Like those people will never have a job. So this is what I will say about the alcohol. This is not the last time in your lives that you're going to be offered a free drink. So just don't do it. Like that's just general good. Like just why it's 4 days. You can go without the free drink, right? I would just in general recommend that as a safe bet. If you are over 21, and you want to have a glass of wine or a beer or something, okay, but I would really not do more than one. And in terms of behavior, like Adri said, this is all part of the interview process, really. I mean, it is parties, but they are also evaluating, potential employers are evaluating how do you handle yourself in those situations and what kind of judgment do you have. And I don't say that to make it sound like, they're constantly watching, constantly judging, that's not it. We do want you to be your real authentic self. But having too much to drink or letting too loose and dancing on the tables is just not how you want to present yourself in a work environment. And so have fun, smile, laugh, talk to people, dance. I mean, there is going to be some amazing music there. But maybe just like not grinding, like just use your judgment on the behavior. And remember that there are potential employers watching.
Just to add on to that, you are representing something bigger than yourself here. When you are attending an alpha convention as an alpha member, you are not showing up as Adriana Ortiz. You are showing up as Adriana from Alpha. So please remember that when you are with us, right? When you are talking to these recruiters and talking to other professionals and talking to other students, that you are representing something so much bigger than you. So if you want to make sure that these opportunities continue on after August for other folks, and that alpha students aren't seen as, oh, they're just partiers or they're not about their business, then please make sure that when you show up as your best self. Whatever you do after August 11th, after convention is over, that is your business, just not with alpha like written all over you. At the end of the day, we've all been at that age, whether we were college students or not. We've all been there. And we've all had our own experiences in our own lives. The recruiters have, your current employers, your maybe employers, they've all had these kind of experiences. And it doesn't mean that, if you're this way when you're 18 or 21, that, you're not going to do anything else afterwards. But you don't want it to be that 10 years from now, you walk into an interview and somebody's like, wait, I remember you at this Alpha convention. And they already have a view about you, and you completely changed, and they have no idea who you are now and what you bring to the table, because sometimes people really, truly remember those kind of things. So just remember that you are representing something so much bigger than yourself at convention. And one more thing about parties and all this stuff, I forgot to mention that there is an all-white party. So please, please, please make sure that you pack an all-white outfit. Like, I don't even know how we forgot that one. But yes, please, please, please pack an all-white outfit for the celebration. So make sure that you have that. I just want to also address all of the questions that have come in through the chat. So somebody asked, is there a mechanism by which students can report if they were sexually harassed by Alpha chapter leaders, presenters, or sponsors? There absolutely is, right? Whether it's something that happens to you at convention or something that happened to you on campus, like, we take these matters very, very, very seriously. Damien Rivera, our CEO, is like, you can call me directly. There is a link to have complaints be sent anonymously through Red Flag. So if you are somebody who wants the information, whether it's for yourself, your friend, your colleague, your former chapter person, please, please, please reach out to me. We can send that out. I'll make sure that it's actually also on the website so that we absolutely have a mechanism for this, and we take these matters very, very seriously. So again, just wanted to address that because that came up.
Adri, is this a good time to maybe talk about the corporate receptions in the rooms about, that's a good segue? Okay. So building on that, because we've all been virtual for the last couple of years, I just want you all to know that many times employers will have hotel suites, big old hotel suites that are or rooms that are not bedrooms, but like big boardrooms or hotel suites that are actually not hotel rooms. They have board rooms in them, and they invite people there for info sessions and or exclusive networking or kind of smaller get to know you events. Just know that that's normal. So if you do approach a booth and you're vibing with them and it's good, and they say, well, please join us in our private reception later tonight in room number 1100. Don't freak out and think that that's someone trying to get you into their hotel room. In most cases, it's I'm going to say in all cases, I can't imagine, but that it is. These are rooms that are designed for networking events. There's not beds in them. It's not like a hotel room. It's just it's what's called a hospitality suite. And so just know that that's normal and that's okay. If you do feel uncomfortable, please find one of us, let one of us know. We'll walk there with you. We'll go with you, take a friend with you. But just know that is standard.
Yeah. And a lot of these rooms are on hallways that might have hotel rooms. So you might get invited to one and you might feel like, wait, where am I going? What am I doing? First of all, if you feel that way, even before you enter a room, just go, listen to yourself for sure. If you don't feel comfortable just walking out, sometimes you'll see like, oh, there's actually other people here. It's, but they are in hallways that may have hotel rooms. But the executive suites of this nature are, rooms where people can interview, network, things like that. So just wanted to put that out there. There was a question that came up about resumes. Susan, I know you already addressed that. Make sure you print out your resumes, have lots and lots and lots of copies. If you don't have a printer at home and you're not on campus, go to your local library, ask them if you could print there, tell them what it's for. 99.9% of the time they'll say yes if it's free. Let's see. I'm currently on a job assignment and my contract ends in August. While I'm a recent graduate and don't qualify as a student, is there also going to be a virtual component this year? And our convention sponsorship only for current full-time students? So we do not have a virtual component this year. It is fully in person. We don't have a hybrid. I do know that we're going to have a virtual career fair, I believe, post convention, but don't quote me on that right now. So yes, and then for convention sponsorship, we're still working on some things, so please keep a lookout. I know we've been talking to a lot of schools, and we have some things coming down the pipeline. Damien definitely told you all to keep a lookout for some things coming out between today and tomorrow. I can't promise that a graduate might get something, but at the end of the day, I tell all my students and all my recent graduates, if you don't ask, the answer is no. Right. So if you want something, just go for it and ask. If somebody says no, somebody says no. But if you do not ask, then it is always no. Where can we find the workshop for the events to plan on? So if you actually go to where you would register for our convention. So if you go to alpha.org, that first thing is a banner about convention. Click on that banner and it brings you to the convention site. On the right top hand side, there's some lines. You click on that, you can go through the entire agenda and other FAQs and all these other things. If you go through the agenda, all of the workshops are actually listed. And then within that website, you'll also find our partners and who's going to be there. And what key elements should you include in an elevator pitch? Does anybody want to take that one?
I can, and then Susan, you were obviously successful, but name, where you're from, school, what you're studying, or what you're interested in. I think are really the four basics. And then if you want to go like advanced, I would also recommend, like we talked about before, I'm here, so hi, my name is Beth Raymond. I'm from Texas. I went to I'm a junior at the University of Texas studying marketing. And then if what I would recommend is adding in, I'm here talking to you today because I'm excited about the work you are doing in blah, blah, blah. Or I'm excited about the opportunity your company has for careers in blah, blah, blah. So something specific. So it's like name, school, what you're studying in your year, where you're from, and just something specific that can begin a conversation, the conversation starter. Why are you standing here in front of me?
Yeah, absolutely agree. I would write out my elevator pitch with the exact same components that Beth just mentioned, and time yourself. So write those, I think Audrey mentioned a little earlier, write all of these questions out and answer them as truthful as you can be, and then go in and cut them, and then see if you can kind of bunch that up into, I would say, a paragraph, and read that paragraph out loud. Then see how long that paragraph actually takes you to read, and see if you can bring it down to certain time limits, because it's important to know that at the booths, and even if you're actually in an elevator with someone, you do not have 5 minutes to present. You probably will have maybe a minute to a minute and a half, or even 2 minutes. And sometimes 2 minutes is like, okay, you're doing a lot. So I would say write your answers down to Beth's questions out, and see if you can cut that down to about a minute 30. And if you don't hit that mark exactly at a minute 30, it's totally okay. No one's holding a stopwatch to you. But just make sure that it hits every single point that you want it to hit. Make sure it's authentically you. If you are a president of 2 clubs, I would say that. If you interned at a really awesome firm that is correlated with the internship that you want to get now, I would definitely say that. If you are interested in any of the initiatives that the firm that you may want to apply to is piloting, I would mention that 110%. A great rule of thumb that I always use is at the end, and I think Beth even mentioned this as well, it's like the I'm interested in. So after you give your background about yourself, your hometown, what you're studying, what you did in the past, when you start shifting that conversation to that employer, to that person that you're talking to, say, I'm interested in this role because I'm interested in learning more about your initiatives. I'm interested in learning about about your internship programs. I'm interested in this, etc. So that's a good segue to kind of transition your elevator pitch from going all about you to now all about them. And look for those words, and you can even use a thesaurus like, okay, interested, change the verb, change the adjective, change this, change anything. But yeah, those are some simple guidelines that I would follow. Just make sure to practice, 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 and go into the bathroom, look in the mirror, and practice that. Look at the eye contact, your hand mannerisms. If you haven't noticed, I'm a hand talker. I love talking with my hands. So if you're that person, let it out. If you like jokes, appropriate ones at given times when they should be, let them out. I mean, I would say if at the end of my elevator pitch, sometimes if the recruiter is, friendly and we have a great connection, it's like, ooh, what do you think about that? And it just kind of breaks the ice, because recruiters, and they're people too. They haven't been to this convention for 3 years either. And sometimes we need a little bit of humor, of empathy, of human interaction, really, to bring us back to this moment in time, because we haven't been here. Students, also give yourself a pat in the back, because we as students have not been outside for a couple of years, and this may be your first time going to a convention in person, or your first time attending a huge conference where you have to go on an airplane and go somewhere else. So give yourself a pat on the back for being there and making it there, and just know that whatever happens is meant to happen, and just know that you're going to learn tremendously, not only if you follow our tips, but if you follow your chapter's tips, anything else that your chapters are also giving out, because I'm sure they will be giving out their resources as well. Yeah, just have fun. And yeah.
And I love these questions, and I love that you've all brought this up about your resume, your elevator pitch. We're touching upon all of this in bootcamp. So if you register for bootcamp, actually not if, when, you could do that like right after this. When you register for bootcamp, you will see all of the different workshops that are being hosted by over 25 different partners, and they have a range of topics that they're covering. And I know that there's two workshops at a time, so there's three at 3 o'clock. Sorry, there's 2 at 3 o'clock. There's 2 at 4 o'clock. There's 1 at 5 o'clock. And if you want to hit all of them, you will be able to, because they are going to be recorded, right? And if you register, you will have access to it even afterwards. So if you know, I want to go to this one, I want to go to this one, I want to go to this one and this one, I want to see them all, but I can't do that all at once during this week from July 25th to July 29th. As long as you register beforehand, you will have access to it. And so please, please, please make sure that you register for bootcamp. There is a range of workshops, and they are all covering these questions, and how to prepare for convention, and how to show up as your best self, how to show up as your authentic self, how to ace that interview, how to refresh your LinkedIn, how to refresh your resume, how to talk to a company about what they're doing, how, all of it. So definitely, please register for that. The all white party outfit, is it formal or informal? It is a party, but kind of, if you're thinking about where we're at and how we've been talking about, showing up still formally, think of, a cocktail party kind of outfit, just in white. So again, somewhat on the conservative side, but still have fun, right? So that you can actually move and dance. This is the outfit that you'll have for Alpha's Got Talent. Please sign up for Alpha's Got Talent. So if you have a talent that you want to showcase, that's also a great way to get a recruiter's attention, right? If you could spit some poetry, you could sing, you could dance, you could play an instrument, go ahead, sign up for Alpha's Got Talent. It's, there is a prize, and you'll also be remembered that way. Something that you could talk to recruiters about, and how that plays into what you're trying to do, or how that has helped you become who you are, right? Whatever it is that your artistic talent is. What are the questions? I work online for a few hours. Is it possible to go in and out during the convention? Absolutely. You know what? Being around people 24/7 doesn't work for me. I need time to just, I'm going to move this way. I'm going to move that way. I'm going to get out your way because I need you to get out my way because I need brain space. So if you need to leave, the space that you're in, whether it's for work, maybe you're having social anxiety, you haven't been around this many people in a really long time, you need a mindfulness moment, I absolutely encourage you to do that. And I know that Jenny Lee and I have also talked about what we can do to make sure that there are different sections at convention that allows you to have some mindfulness, right? That allows you to just take that moment. So if you have to step out to work, step out to take care of yourself, please do so. How early should we be? If you're on time, you are late. So absolutely, if you're going to an interview, please show up at least 5 to 10 minutes earlier. I do urge students that when you're early somewhere and you are waiting for somebody, don't just be on your phone. Do something that's preparing you. So if you're anxious and nervous, do something to ease that anxiety or that nervousness. If you want to continue looking up the company, something that you want to talk to them about, do that. But don't just wait around, on social media or just talking to somebody unless it's something that is preparing you to be your best self for whatever it is that you're waiting for. I will tell you, if you are early to something I'm at, I'll probably gonna pull you in because I'm gonna need some help because we're all gonna be running around. I might put you to work. So just make sure you know that as well. Then one last question that got put up is, will there be sponsorships available? We've definitely sent out some information about sponsorships, and I know we're working on some things. We are working on some things, so it's not an automatic yes, it's not an automatic no, but make sure that you are following us on all of our social media platforms and look out for the announcements that we're dropping between today and tomorrow. Please, Jenny, if you could actually put my email in the comments. For some reason, I can't put something in the comments to everybody, but if you could put my email out there for them. So students, if you are looking for sponsorships and trying to figure out how you can get to convention, please reach out to me. Again, Adriana Maria, the manager of student chapter operations and initiatives. My LinkedIn is right there on the bottom. Jenny will put out my contact information, and we are working on it. We want all of you to be there. The more the merrier. You are all part of this 50-year celebration, and I know we're at the top of the hour. So is there any last minute things, Beth or Susan, that you want to say before we close it out?
No, you said it all. We cannot wait to see you. If the only thing keeping you from going is financial constraints, please do reach out. We do have some scholarships and sponsorships available, and we'll help you if we can. And but we want you there, and we want as many students there as we can get, and we look forward to seeing you.
Yeah, I would echo the same thing. I would share this with all of your chapter leaders, with all of your student chapters, professional chapters, so they are up to date as well. And again, I know I keep echoing this, but also have fun, live in the moment, and be sure that you can document this story to continue sharing with others, because this is why ALPFA keeps growing and is the beloved organization that we know today. So go to this. You are a representative not only of ALPFA, but of your school, of your associations, of your communities. Be proud of that. Take that in and also share that again with the world. Share that with your school. See if you can pilot any initiatives for next year in terms of sponsoring students, etc. And just bring that home, because the impact that it will have on your life, it will have on your professional life and on your personal life in terms of meeting other lifelong friends, literally, is immeasurable. So yeah, just take it all in and share it to the world.
Absolutely. And the last thing, if the thing that's stopping you is your internship schedule, please email me and let me know. I have been on the phone with different supervisors for different interns all week and parts of last week. And, honestly, it's been working. So if there's, you're at your internship and you really want to go, one, ask your supervisor and tell them why. They might say yes. If you don't want to do that, but you want me to reach out to them, please let me know. It is my pleasure to reach out to, to your internship supervisor on your behalf about why this is such an incredible opportunity and why you should be with us, and how it's also beneficial for them to have you there, because many of the companies that you're all interning at are going to be at convention. So you can actually talk about your experience working with them, and you can help them recruit. So please, 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 if that is something that is stopping you from coming to convention, let me know. It has been our pleasure to be here with you all today. You have a wonderful day, and we cannot wait to see you.
Bye.